I'm Stephanie Marsillett. I am from Floyd County. I teach 8th grade at Adams Middle School. It is my 25th year, so what I am doing is actually out of the box for me. Growing up or starting my teaching career, I wasn't very technically oriented. So when we did the big push for the one-on-one, I was like, oh great, now I'm going to have to learn this stuff. Once I got into it though, I found some wonderful resources. How many of you have heard in the hallway, especially, how many of you are language arts? Oh, okay, not too many. Well, I'd hear students talking and they'd be like, I have to go to reading next. I hate reading. So I started taking it personally because I thought, well, they hate me. So I asked one day, I said, is it something that you don't like about me? And they're like, no, reading's just boring. And I thought, okay. And now with all the video games and things coming out, I thought, all right, how can I bring that technology in with reading? It is a product called the Merge Cube. Any of you have seen it? Awesome. I'm just telling you, big things are happening with it. So that's why my project was merging with literacy using augmented reality and virtual reality. And there are several books already out there that student books. One of them's called The Ghost Keeper's Journal, and it's great for Halloween. And it has a free app that they use, but they interact with the text. It's kind of, once you open the book, the ghosts escape and they have to collect the ghosts. But in order to do that, they have to solve the mini puzzles. They have diary entries to read, letters to read, things like that. And then they actually get to use the augmented reality to where they capture things. And so they seem very excited about that. I haven't got my Merge Cubes in yet, but I highly recommend you check that out because how many of you have ever seen CoSpace's EDU? Okay. My ultimate goal is to have them create their own virtual and augmented realities. And that can be done through CoSpace's EDU because they are merging with Merge. And so the students can actually create a 3D image, and then with that program, they can bring it to the Merge Cube, and they actually hold it in their hand. So the materials simply requires that Merge Cube, and out on my poster, I actually did a paper one that if you were to go to Merge Cube and just download a free app, you can actually see what it does. But the cubes that they come are about the size of a Rubik's Cube, and they're kind of foamy. So I gave a questionnaire to the students and pretty much asked, how many of you read for enjoyment? Very few read for enjoyment. So, and I could tell by our K-Prep scores that were kind of going downhill, and I thought, okay, they're not reading, and that's because they said it was boring. They weren't actively doing it, and in the classroom, the only reason they were doing it was because I was making them. And then some of them still wouldn't. So I'm hoping that using the virtual reality and the augmented reality just kind of motivate them. And then if the motivation's there, I think the academic success is automatically going to go up. Or at least I'm hoping so. Any questions? Yes. Oh. It's called Merge Cube. Oh, the Ghost Keeper's Journal. It's actually a book that comes from Scholastic, and it says A Journey in Augmented Reality. And I have pictures out on my board because I work through it before I allow the students to, and they have to read. They can't just do the fun stuff because it'll pop up a message, you're not qualified to do this yet, because you kind of go from a beginner to an apprentice and you have to be up there before you can capture certain ghosts. But it's really neat. The app is Spectromatic, or the Merge Cube app is just mergecube.com. And then, like I said, Tinkercad is getting on board with them now. And then next year I'm hoping, because they can create those 3D objects, and then I'm hoping to get a 3D printer and let them actually bring their objects to life. So hopefully motivation.
Do any of these software or hardware things that you're describing interface with their phones?
Yes, all of them. And what we've done for the students who don't have, which did that in the questionnaire too, almost every single student, with maybe exception of one or two, has a cell phone. It doesn't have to have a data plan on. They run it off air wireless. And you just download the apps, and that phone is what they use.
You seem very at home with this technology. Are you new to it, or was there much?
I am probably about 3 years new to it. Now, the AR and the VR, I'm just now researching it for the grant, because I thought, okay, I asked a student, and she is a straight A student. She's one of my readers. And I said, do you like virtual reality? And she was like, I love it. And I thought, okay, if my readers love it, then I know my non-readers are going to love it. Because, you know, I have students who, they just look at you and say, I'm not going to read it. Give me an F. I don't care, you know. And it's like, no, I want you to read it. So that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. Okay. Any other questions? What? Minute and a half? Any others? Like I said, you can just check out my poster board out there. And if you want, it's a paper cube. And that is one of the things. If you can't afford the cubes, which Walmart had them for $1 for a long time, but of course I'm getting them from Amazon for $10 now. But if you can't afford the cubes, you can actually download a paper copy, and they can make their own paper copies. The graphics aren't as good as the real cube, but still works well.